Now, so we get to talk about, so we've talked about going through the whole process now. You guys kind of know process start to finish. Start with your developmental and substantive edits, get your revisions and your structure ready, and then get your copy editing done. And she gave you lots of great information about how to do those copy edits. And I know, having just gone through my own, it feels like a lot to remember, right? Yeah. So that's where software can come in and help you out. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about two in particular: Fictionary, which helps you with developmental edits and substantive edits, and ProWritingAid, which helps you with copy editing and proofreading. And I think I have my disclaimer first. Let's see where I'm at here. Oh, I did that too soon. So ProWritingAid is definitely better for fiction. I am a lifetime member for ProWritingAid, and I paid for that bad boy because it is worth every penny. You don't have to do a subscription service, which I hate, and it is just, it's worth it. If you can get it, get it.
They have little programs too.
Huh?
They have like programs like little classes.
Oh,
every
yeah.
week, and they have so many.
They just had a romance conference. They have genre-specific stuff. So are you fantasy? Yeah, that's right. So they have some for fantasy, science fiction, and romance, and all that good jazz. They are super helpful. I cannot tell you enough how wonderful they are. Okay, there's also Grammarly. I don't love this one as much, I'll be honest. But we all know how to use Grammarly, so I'm not going to tell you how to use that one. But it is mainly, in my experience, because I mainly copy edit for like a marketing firm, so I read a lot of blogs and that kind of thing. So my copy editing skills are different than Jenny's copy editing skills. And so I use Grammarly for that a lot. I do run Grammarly at the same time I'm using PWA, or ProWritingAid. Sorry, I always shorten everything because it's really long. So just kind of keep that in mind. One will catch what others don't. Okay. All right. Now here's my disclaimer. Okay. And I know AI is a kind of a hot button topic for a lot of folks, but I'm letting you know all the ones that I'm going to tell you about today, including Grammarly, use AI. It's not. Oh my gosh. Okay. So just be aware of that. Fictionary works so well, and ProWritingAid works so well because it has AI backing it up to understand context, which is huge. Okay. This is, in my opinion, one of the really good ways to use AI. So be aware. It is not ChatGPT though. They do not learn off of your manuscript. They do not do anything like that. In fact, if you look on their website, which I did the research for this because I know a lot of people ask me about this, they don't, in their terms and conditions, your IP is your IP. They don't even hold it other than just to have it in your profile. Does that make sense? So keep that in mind. The reputable companies will tell you that outright. So if you're looking for that kind of stuff, just look in their terms and conditions before you load your manuscripts up. Okay. So once again, think about when you're picking this out and you're starting to think about how to integrate this, make sure you consider your level of, comfort in today's editing software and research that information, like I was just mentioning. Make sure you do your homework to make sure your IP is safe. And of course, budget. Okay, because lots of subscriptions can get pretty expensive pretty fast. So if they have a lifetime thing, go with that. Even though it's a lot up front, in my opinion, save your money for it and then get it because it will save you in the long run. Okay, know the specialty of the software. Okay, so like Fictionary, which I'm going to show you, they are best for developmental edits and they are best for substantive edits. ProWritingAid, good for copy editing and proofreading. Letting you know that right out the gate. Know that so that when you integrate it, you're not using the wrong software at the wrong stage, which blows up your process, okay? All right. Now, I know I'm talking about the software side of actually using it to do the editing for you, but editing and word processors. I mentioned this just a second ago when I was showing you about Word and all that kind of good jazz. If you're a Scrivener user, which I am and I love it, it's not very intuitive for editing, okay? Compile that and put it into Word and edit in Word. You can do advanced searches, advanced search and replaces. You can run macros on it, which are like little tiny programs that will help you fix all the formatting in the click of a button if you do it the right way. And I love macros, so come talk to me afterward if you want to know more. And they're very groovy. So use Word, in my opinion, is far better for editing. And as Jenny said, is the standard for that. Okay, now I got to witness firsthand how amazing you guys are as editors already. Okay, when you say so, Jenny, they picked up quite a bit. I think they got everything off your list and then some. So your job when you're using these is to have, why do I have this big bag in the middle of the floor? Is to do the edit first, okay? So you need to, the way you want to do this is, your editing software is like your backup. It's your check system, okay? Because you cannot remember everything. I know I can. I can't remember everything I need to remember for editing. My brain will explode, and I literally it won't work. So I use it as my check, as my before I even send it off. You'll kind of see what I mean when I go through some of these. So yes, make sure you do that first. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you the pros and cons of Fictionary, and then we're going to look at it, okay? So here are the pros. So first off, it's very story focused. This is a big one. It is going to really help you find your plot, your characters, your pacing. With this giant monstrosity, when I had this one, after I did the developmental edit on it, I shoved that sucker in Fictionary, and then found out that my structure was still a little off. Gave me even a visual of where my scenes fell, and you guys will see that in a minute. So just be aware that it really does help. It also gave me character lists of all the names. Oh. When I say character list, it's every name, every proper name in your manuscript. Yes, and I found out that all of my characters had at least 4 nicknames. I was like, oh no, that goes with her. Oh, and that goes with her. Oh, okay. Can you imagine how that felt? I was like, oh crap, that's going to confuse the readers like a whole bunch. So that really helped to cut down on all that kind of mess. And it was something I did not realize I was doing, which was super helpful. It also, of course, will help with pacing. Visual mapping, I mentioned it has like Freytag's pyramid on there. So I think that's the name of it. A little story pyramid thing. Anyhow, it's really nice. I'm all about the visuals. And there's a lot of feedback. You're going to see in just a minute what I mean. I loaded up one of my old trunk stories last night, and so you guys are going to get to see it computate and do its magic on that one. All right, now, I will say it can feel a little overwhelming when you look at all the stuff that's going on. But, yeah. The other thing is that it does cost. It's got a monthly subscription on it. But, because it's a monthly subscription, are you going to be doing developmental edits every month? No. So, pay for it one month. Don't pay for it the next month, okay? To help you mitigate some of that cost. There is one thing with the cost that I really liked about them, and it is that they did not ask me for my credit card when I signed up for the free 14-day trial. Okay, and so that tells me that they know they've got a good product, and they don't have to trick you into paying for the subscription, which is, in my opinion, wonderful. Okay, specifics. Now, this we don't have to worry about because we're all here for fiction stuff, but don't try to put your essay in it. Okay. It's not going to work. Okay. So let's see if this bad boy is going to cooperate with me. Now, where did I put my... That's me. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. Let's see if it's gonna, oh yeah, see, it doesn't like this. Oh, it timed me out, you rat. Okay, no, I'm gonna log in.
Which subscription do you have, the premium or the normal?
I went with the 14-day trial on the premium.
On the premium?
Yeah, the middle one, the one that's in it, because the other one is for, okay, look, it brought me back. Yay. I went with the middle one because the one on the left is more for editors. Tells you how good the software is. They train developmental editors on this. You can become a coach. Have you guys heard of, I don't know, if you're an indie, you'll probably have heard of her, Sasha Black. I know that. No, she's a romance author. Yeah, but I think she's like romantic-y type of stuff. Anyhow, she is big with Ally, which is the Alliance of Independent Authors. And anyhow, she's one of the coaches, so you can actually hire her to be your book coach. She uses Fictionary and is trained on that kind of stuff. So, yeah, pretty groovy. Okay, so my manuscript is in. Okay, this is my old trunk one, and it's going to tell me, it asked me to make sure, it asked me things like, how are your scenes broken up? You know, is there a specific character that you use? Like Scrivener will make you give the pound sign or the hashtag if you're new, young people. Or if you use like an extra spacing to show scene breaks, that kind of thing inside your chapters. And now I'm going to confirm my chapters, which I'm hitting next. And it's identifying. You guys can read this. Nice work. Your book is 47 chapters, 47 scenes. Yes.
So, sorry, I've never seen this before. So when you import it, it just automatically picks up your chapters. Do you have to have them in styles?
It asked, that's another question that it asked me. It asked me how my chapters were separated. So it said, are your chapters separated by the word chapter, or is it a specific heading, or did you use both?
Oh.
And if it's something different, it asked me like how it was identified as being different. Does that make sense?
And do you get the option to put like breaks in? You know, like sometimes authors have kind of just a break.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about just a second ago. So like when you export from Scrivener and you have breaks between your scenes, usually it'll use the hashtag or the pound sign.
Oh, I see.
Or some folks just put an extra 2 paragraph breaks.
Yeah.
Or line breaks.
What's the right one?
Yeah, but I mean it just doesn't. Yeah.
Oh,
It just, I mean, I don't know.
I put like 3 stars, but.
When I get it from a publisher, it has like a box that says break.
Oh.
But when you get it
in the proofread version, it just depends on what the design is. Like the last one I just had was 3 dots.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's not like one way that it has to be done?
No, so it just depends on the design.
Okay.
Okay.
I have an unrelated question.
That's okay.
I've noticed for years now, chapters do not have names. People are not giving them
Mm-hmm.
titles. Why is that? Or can you still do it?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Why
It's
do
just
they
they.
not have time?
I don't know.
People don't want to read
They do not name their chapters.
Because they don't give it.
I don't name my chapters. I don't name my children.
I think it's because you have to think of a name to go with it, and people are just too lazy.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's
a.
hard enough to name your book.
Yeah, I think that people are just. I don't know. I think it's just a thing now.
I think you get that more in non-fiction as well, or in memoirs. It's quite common to get like.
I think so too.
And then in non-fiction, where you're describing what's in the chapter, but for fiction, I don't see it so much anymore.
I see it months. Couple of months.
I
But
know
even then, I
Daniel
forget.
Silva names his by city because he goes all over the world.
Oh, nice.
And so his action is taking place in different places. So that one I can follow.
Yeah.
It's just your style.
Yeah, and it's totally okay to do it either way. I mean, all right. Oh, look, it's lagging. It's a good thing I went ahead and did it. I was like, oh, look, it's going to go ahead and pop it up. Okay, so look, it's got all my characters.
Oh, nice.
This is cool.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you something. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So look, here's.
136 characters?
I know, but I gotta show you something.
Because they're all the same.
Some of them are just proper names.
There's just.
Some of them are just proper names, like Battlemaster, that's not really somebody's name. But look, here I've got this name is spelled correctly. And look down here.
Wait.
Oh, where did it go? It had another one where it was missing. Oh yeah, it's missing the N.
Okay.
There was one of them that's missing an N. See?
Right.
So super handy to help you make sure of to check the spellings of your characters, because I often have typos. But yes, look how many and how many are in there.
Can you blow up your screen a little bit more?
Let me see if I can.
Do the green thing at the top.
This thing?
Control plus.
Oh, oh wait. View. Where's zoom in?
Control plus.
Would be
Oh.
Does that help? Does that help you guys?
No.
Yeah. Let me see if I can make it go one more. I think one more.
Apparently it's command plus.
Okay. But as you can see, just from the characters, it's confirming characters. So what I would go in and do, I would say, this is not one. Let's see, delete selected characters. So I'm going to go in and try to find the ones like these characters. And then look, I had these put in there like this. It had a dash in front of it. It shouldn't have a dash. And let's see, where was the other one? This is not a character name.
So can you click 3 and merge them on the right?
Yeah.
And then it will change it for you.
Let's see, where does it say? Where does it say merge? Let's see. Well, I'm going to delete this one first. Hold on, let me delete select a character. And then let's see. Oh, merge. There we go. You're right. Merge first name. Oh, this is hard. Okay. All right, but I could go in there and do that for each of these, like this one is misspelled, I would do all that. Okay, I would go in and, yeah. So like this guy, this Garden Master, he's the same guy. It's just when you use it with the first name versus just with the last name and the title. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I would want to go in and I would want to clean that up. But for time's sake, I'm not going to go through and be as nitpicky as I would if I were actually doing this. Okay? So I'm going to put, I'm done for now. And then I'm going to start on my little journey. Okay? And this little story blurb is, and look how much they walk you through this. How cool is this? Okay? They really help to walk you through everything. Especially because I'm coming in as a new person. All right? So I want to do the story structure. Let's see, visualize. And this is the part where I'm really going to hope that it, okay.
Ooh.
Check this out. How'd I do?
Amazing.
How does it identify plot?
I don't know. It does it with AI magic. I don't know. How cool is that? Okay. This is the book that I tried and failed at editing, so I feel like really good about this right now. I'm like, oh wow, look, okay. The blue line is where most people's, most stories are at. And then the golden line is me. Cool. And
That's pretty good.
it'll tell you what scene it's in. Oh, you bet. Here it goes. Tells you what scene it's in. And because I pretty much know all my chapters and scenes kind of go together, I know that's probably about chapter 4 just by looking at it. Okay? Super groovy. Let's see what character insights have to say. All right. So chapters or characters per scene. So it tells you, holy cow, look at chapter 4. So far I have like 16 characters in this scene. Is that something I need to look at? Maybe. Yeah. But gives you an idea of what that is. Minimum characters, maximum characters. Oh my gosh, I've got 28 somewhere. All stuff that I need to look at. Scenes per character. This is really cool. Tells you how many times Darnell shows up. And Lael, she's in every one because she's the main one. All of these are on there and there. Plot insights. Let's move on to that one because I'm going to get. Okay, so I don't have the. Okay, yeah. So there are a bunch of them. Most of them, it's not confirmed what it is.
We're still on C.
Oh, you. Come on, catch up. Sorry, this makes me.
Oh, here we are.
Here we are. Okay, so the purpose of the scene, as you can tell, it's already assigned these different little points to where the, what they're serving as. Now, Fictionary might have it wrong, okay? I may think it's this scene, which is why you have to do your homework and know what your outline and where your story beats are. And you need to check and make sure, like, this is your check to see if most people assume we're going to treat them like this is like a beta, kind of get the same thing. Does that make sense? So far, how you would implement this. Okay. Now, as you can tell, one of the cons was that there's a lot here. You can get lost. Take your time and really just like spend days just kind of like picking at it and playing with it, and don't get overwhelmed, but just see how you like it. Okay? You see how this is really good for developmental and substantive because it will go down to the scene.
Do you recommend doing this after human development?
Every type of software that, anytime you use software, it should be always after you have done your work, okay? Because you're going to end up trying to fix stuff that you could have caught the first time around, okay? Does that make sense? All right. Now, there's a lot more to Fictionary, but yeah, get in there, use their free 14-day trial. Okay. Are you going to cooperate with me? Sorry, I'm over here talking to the machine. You see how long that took? Okay, now let's switch gears. Oh, wait. I'm over here now. ProWritingAid. Okay, yay, one of my favorite ones. Now, Fictionary is a big one. So next time, like I said, check your budget, and if you know you're going to be in there, just use Fictionary for as long as you're going to be in developmental. That's what I would do because I'm always on a tight budget, okay? And then just spot check it, so to speak, okay? Okay, ProWritingAid. We all know about this one, and I'm going to show you after I've done the pros and cons. Hopefully I'm not going to take, I think I'm doing okay. Okay, so pros. Oh my gosh, there's so much I could tell you. So this is great for the copy editing. Again, human edit. Go print up your manuscript and mark it all up to pieces. Now there's some folks that do highlighting, they do all that kind of stuff at the copy editing stage. Whatever floats your boat, as long as you do it. Get it done, get it implemented, and then slap it into ProWritingAid, okay? And because it's going to cover a lot of stuff that you probably missed in your past, okay? So like you teach it the style that you want it to have. It looks for grammar, readability. There are I don't know, it feels like at least 50 reports that you can run on your manuscript, okay? So there's a lot going on. Like Val mentioned, tons of extra goodies to learn by. Not just how to use ProWritingAid, but also they offer tons of little webinars every so often. So definitely sign up for those. Get on their newsletter or their mailing list and take advantage of those because they're wonderful. This also integrates across platforms. I can use it in Word. I can use the desktop version, which is actually what I'm going to show you guys. And it works on Google Docs, works everywhere. So just know, works across platforms. All right, now there are a few cons, but they're not many for me. Again, much like Fictionary, it is going to feel like information overload and you're not going to know what to focus on. And that's okay. It takes practice to know what your weaknesses are. And I need you guys to be real with yourselves about what your weaknesses are and attack those with vengeance. Okay? And that way you can know what to kind of focus on and use tools like Jenny's list to make sure that you're going through. And some of these reports correspond, hint, hint, with the list. All right?
Don't put me out of job, not yet.
No, it's not out of a job. No, this is to make it so it costs us less money. Okay, this is the idea. Because from one, I know like I said, I'm a copy editor for different type of stuff, but I know that I need an editor. And you guys do too. You guys can't do it all. So trust the professionals. There is a subscription. They have a free version that is pretty decent. But the subscription, of course, is going to have all the bells and whistles and all sorts of groovy stuff. And so make sure it's in your budget. These folks have a lifetime subscription. So if you can afford that, I would say get that. Every time I use it, it seems like they update it, and I'm like super excited. I'm like, oh, I get an update. What are they giving me now? Because as you'll see in the next slide, I have reports that I did not know, even when I was doing my copy edit for the past month. And I was going through, what are my favorite? I didn't know that one was there. Oh crap, I didn't know. I could have used that one. It's always coming up with something new. Okay. This is something that I'm going to try to demonstrate for you guys a little bit. It can be slower with a bigger document. Here's the cool thing. When you have the desktop version, you can upload your entire manuscript, even from Scrivener. It'll read a Scrivener file. Can you tell I'm in love with that part? And if it's in Word, it will do the same thing. It will open up your Word document, and it will have your entire all of your chapters in there. I would strongly urge you to put your headings to make navigation much easier, okay? But it can be a little slow in that department, but there are workarounds, okay? With me so far? Okay. So I'm going to tell you my human side of editing first. Okay, these are my checklist of my major weaknesses. I have more. But I look at tackling setting and character descriptions because I always write lean, and so I need to make sure I look at those. I need to look at the setting at the beginning of the scene and the end of the scene, like Jenny had talked about. Make sure that I have those carved out because I tend to drop people into a scene and then don't tell you where you're at. Dialogue and internal monologues, I had to add a lot of that because of the POV shift that I had. So that was a big one that I looked at. I tend to have a lot of dialogue, a lot of people talking, so I've got to make sure I break that up. And then I look for crutch words, those ones that were our favorites. Mine is smirked. My people smirk all the time, and I was telling Jenny, I didn't know until recently that that's a negative emotion on a face. I didn't know that. Because I'm like, I smirk all the time, and I'm like always mean it like it's like a half smile, like a half laugh or something. So I had to go fix those. And then I had to look for inconsistencies with formatting and stuff like that. But that's stuff that ProWritingAid won't help me with. All right. But for my so I edit this and I fix all that and I add these all into my document. I get it nice, as clean as I can. And then I go into ProWritingAid and I start looking at the different reports, if you will, that they have. So repetition, and I look at the whole novel because I thought I was doing so good. I went into a chapter and I'm like, no, repeated words, besides, the usual ones, right? Like the and whatever. No, I was all excited. I had 2 or 3. But then I got across the novel and I had like 100 and maybe it was more than that, like of could. I used could like 200 times. I had no idea. And it was those helping, like, that wordy stuff where you're like, she began to walk away, or I could just see, and I had to go back in and polish it. Now, I tell you that these crazy little nitpicky things are really handy to look for in ProWritingAid because they catch it for you. You won't notice that when you're probably when you're going through your first pass. Using this also allows you to stay as objective as possible. I will throw that in there. It gives you a little bit of leeway time between your reads. But that's an aside. So these are the things that I look for. I didn't realize that I used, she was doing this and she was doing that. I was looking at, So these were some that I had looked for. And then after that, after I sent it through ProWritingAid, I did another read through of the whole thing to check for typos and grammar issues and that sort of thing. Okay? So I'm letting you know my process for how to implement this particular software. Yes, ma'am?
Did you let it rest before you did that?
I did. I let it rest for about a week, though. I did let it rest because, like, my brain was starting to, like, no, I don't want to look at it anymore. But then I'm like, no, you got to turn it in. Like, the deadline got me. Okay, so just to give you an idea, and I'm going to show you these, but I just want to, this is in there. All these green ones are the ones that I saw after the fact, and I did not. Like, I knew about critique. That one I found out, and I was telling my other writer friend about it. I'm like, critique is so cool, and I'll show you what that looks like. But sentence structure, it's another good one that I wish I would have known about. Pronouns. How many of you guys, like, start with, she said, or she went and did this? Yeah. And then the next sentence is, she did this then. Yeah. And yeah, that's what that does. Sensory. I wish I would have known about that one, like, 2 weeks ago, right? Rephrase is a new one that I know about, but it's really cool. And that's part of the AI part. Okay, y'all ready to look at this bad boy?
Let's look at that.
All right, let's look at him. All right, let me hide.
I want to see it.
Hide. You're gonna like
Sounds
it.
a bit too good.
It is good, but it saves us money. That's what we're looking for.
Yes, sorry.
It saves us money.
us.
And it saves you having to tell people, no, you gotta do it this way.
That's true.
Oh, look! There's an update.
Hey, nice.
Snap.
Free stuff.
Okay, so the one that I have in here, let's see if it's gonna do it. I'm not gonna try to update it. Here's my manuscript. Oh, you naughty thing, you're gonna, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go into chapter 1. Now this is my this is one of my old versions of things, okay? And you notice all these lovely underlined spots? First, I'm going to show you the rephrases, which is one of the ones that is, all right. And this is part of the generative, I'll be up front with you, this is part of the generative AI part. So, it's going to offer you suggestions on how to rewrite certain things. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. Okay, this for me, it's no different than if you're like, I cannot figure out a word for crying. I need another word. This is where this comes in, except it does it not just for the word, but for the sentence. Make sense? Yeah. All right, so let me find one that's not about that. Let's see. Oh, that is Grammarly trying to be naughty. All right, let me see. Here we go. Come on, get out of there, Grammarly. I need to turn you off. I do keep Grammarly up just because sometimes it will catch things that I don't always. No, come on, do the right thing. Quit Grammarly. Okay, go away. All right, let me see if I can't find a rephrase. Here we go. So this is the sentence it's highlighting and it's thinking. I know you can't, hopefully you guys can see it. So the original sentence, plus all she had to do is ask anyone at STS how I fared, and she'd be given a swift and groveling answer. And so it's offering me these dark green phrases are what Grammarly is offering to rephrase. I mean, not Grammarly, ProWritingAid is offering to rephrase. Okay? So if you're stuck and you don't know how do I fix this sentence, it just gives you some ideas. You can choose it, or you don't have to choose it, or you can take a little bit of what they did and put your spin on it. Does that make sense? But at least it offers it to you. And I have used it on occasion, and oftentimes put my spin on that version of it. Okay. Make sense what the rephrase does? Okay, so your reports. Okay, I'll show you the number of them first. All of these are reports. From across this bar all the way down. There's a bunch. Okay? So the summary, it takes a while because it's doing this novel wide. Okay? Oh, sorry. Look, it's not taking a while for you guys. Hopefully it will.
So a summary, like a summary of each chapter?
No, if you put your whole novel in it, it will give you it for the whole novel.
97%.
Great.
Thank you. All right. So it tells you, let's see, let's go to writing style. And it tells you how much they suggest. Tells you sentence length, where the average length of your sentence compared to their suggestion of where it should be. I tend to write down on the lower end, okay? But you can tell even from the start of the document to the end of the document. Look, there's my longest sentence. Oh, shoot. Come on. Keep up. It will come down. Okay, there you go. So from the beginning to the end, and then there's my longest sentence. You can kind of see sentence variety, it shows you how long they are. Or, if you have different varying lengths and that sort of thing, okay? Readability, we talked about this. Look, 4th graders can read my book because I don't use big words. I don't like them. Oh, shoot.
It's gone. Looking back.
There it is. Okay, so 4th graders could read my book. I don't use big words because this is inside somebody else's head, and I don't think in big words. I don't know about you guys, but I just don't. Paragraph, easy paragraphs, difficult paragraphs, that kind of thing. Oh my gosh, sticky sentences. Oh, Sugarfoot. Sticky sentences, places where people. So when I say there's a lot of stuff to look at in here, there's a lot. Okay, and I could go through here, but look, it's got stuff on pacing. Come on, pacing. Oh, are we there yet? Okay. Slow pacing, it tells you where the slowest parts are, not slow, all that kind of good jazz. This is in your summary. This gives you an overall look. If your whole novel is in there, if it's just a short story, then it's not going to do that. It's going to give you just for whatever it has, okay? This is a new one, the critique. See under critique. Now, this one only does it per, I want to say 500 to 1,000 words. It's not much. This is a new one. And it uses AI to see how your story is. It tells you the strengths and the weaknesses, the point of view. And look, it even knows my character's name. See, it says the plot follows the protagonist Yuri as she starts, oh, wait, I went out of the way. The point of view is consistent throughout the scene, it's presented from Yuri's perspective. How cool is that?
Nice.
Pretty groovy. So when I say I love this program, I'm not just doing lip service. So there's so many that I could show you, but I can't, and I'm almost done. And then it'll be Jenny's turn to close this out. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything. All right. Now, there are other bits of editing software out there. I'm not gonna lie. Draftsmith, which is done by Perfected, they're the same company, but Draftsmith is very much like, it's a little bit more like ProWritingAid, but it gives you some of that rephrase options that I had mentioned before. I tested it out and I liked it, but it's not robust enough for me to walk away from ProWritingAid. So definitely test it out. They do have a free trial and it is for 7 days and you don't have to put your credit card in either, so it's worth it to give it a shot. Perfected is more for like consistency in copy editing and proofreading and that sort of thing. It helps you maintain style. I think it's best for nonfiction, but it is out there. I don't know if fiction folks use it as much. Do you know, Jenny?
We all use Perfected.
You all use Perfected. Okay, yeah. So yes, another good one. Although if you have a Mac, they don't have a Mac version.
Oh, they do.
But you got to
It's
use
not
it on the
good or
cloud.
something. It's a bit
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it's a bit wonky. Okay. AutoCrit is one that you're going to be seeing a lot of. I don't know why, but it's all over my newsfeed on my socials. I have used it, and it does some cool reports and stuff, like it compares you to your novel to novels in the same genre, which is pretty cool. But again, for the money and what you're getting, ProWritingAid just kind of, to me, does it better. So, not to be biased, but yeah. Also, if you like the rephrase thing, a safer AI for you to use is called PseudoWrite. It does rephrasing and that sort of thing. So if, for instance, you're bad at description or your brain is just farted out and you can't think anymore, but you need to describe this red ball in a different way, it will give you options for that. And you can like put in a sentence or, you know, some context around it, and it'll rewrite some stuff and give you ideas. Okay? But it's not necessarily a editing software. Questions? No?
How about really, really large documents? Do you notice any lag or stuttering from any of the programs?
The only, I haven't really noticed it from Fictionary because I don't have to get in there and do it. Grammarly, yes. When I was working on my novel and trying to go through it, it told me I had over 1,000 errors and it would never come down from that. And whenever I scrolled to work on stuff, it would freak out and it would move the lines in the wrong spots and, you know, all that kind of jazz. From ProWritingAid, it's less that. Like, there are other issues that I have with it. Like, for instance, since I was in first person, and and this is true if you're a third person too, but I was italicizing thoughts. And so I'm in there editing in my document. So the cool thing is that little thing will save it. Okay, that little desktop version of ProWritingAid saves it so that when you pull it up again in your other document or in your other programs, it's still the edited document. It's just, it's really nice like that. So, but it wouldn't do things like italicize those things when I'm in the midst of it. So that's part of the reason why I had to go back through and kind of correct those errors. But if you save it, it likes you to save it whenever you leave a chapter. So if you're working in a specific chapter rather than working in the reports, you'll want to save that chapter before you move on. It'll even ask you. Does that help you?
It does. I guess I'm thinking of my workflow, so I would
Yeah.
probably put it in first and catch all those things, and then bring it out and double check the formatting.
Yeah.
Again, just to make sure.
Yeah. Definitely don't let anybody see it until after you've done another pass.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it might do some formatting things. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have questions about this? No? Okay. So let's go ahead and take one more break. And then last session is with Jenny, all about finding an editor. Okay? All right.